Welcome to Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. Today is November 20th. I'm going to call it the official restart of our hunting season. Took a few days off during the middle of November here when the bucks were, a little bit less, let's say, accessible since they're locked down with does more. But that should be starting to come to an end now. We're going to go into a lot of the same types of spots we hunted earlier in the rut. We're going to hunt back in the timber almost exclusively. Jordan's going to be here starting Saturday. So she'll have to hunt some of those more open spots because that's where the blinds are at. And she just does a lot better out of a blind than out of a tree. So Amos and I are going to go up this big long draw up to the very top of the ridge. And I don't know what to expect there. I don't have any cameras in that area whatsoever. So it's more of a crapshoot. But this time of the rut, I really have noticed it over the years, and I've seen it just a little bit so far. You start picking up strangers, or you start picking up bucks again that disappeared back in late October and you haven't seen them for a month. So we're starting to see that little by little on the cameras now, which means that at any time, a spot like this could be really good. So, you just got to put your time in. We've talked about this a lot over the few years I've been doing this here on this channel, but you got to hunt good spots. You got to keep the deer from knowing that they're being hunted as best you can. And then you just got to put the time in. So I got Amos here to keep me company while I put my time in. Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails is brought to you by Redneck Blinds, Code of Silence Apparel, the Hunt Stand app, Whitetail Institute, research equals results, B3 Archery, Muddy Outdoors tree stands, Stealth Cam trail cameras, My Outdoor TV, and Hoyt. I've been in the stand for about probably 40 minutes. We have seen 6 deer so far. There was a buck down in the bottom close to where we parked. And I don't know for sure what he was doing. He was probably, I don't know if he was bedded down in the edge of that food plot or if he was just passing through. Then we ran into 2 does and I don't know what that buck age-wise, but probably a 3-year-old coming up the draw. He never did figure out that we were there. The does jumped up and ran off, and he must have been bedded with them. Maybe he was fast asleep because he had no idea where the does went, and he had no idea what they ran from. So he kind of milled around and pawed around for a little while. Then he drifted off, so we didn't spook him. And just now we've had, I think it's a doe and a fawn maybe, about 100 yards away. The wind is about 7 to 10 miles an hour out of the west, northwest. It's a good wind for this spot. Blows right down the valley the way we came up. That's what works best here. Sometimes we get lucky and it blows right over the heads of the deer that are passing on that downwind trail. There's a couple trails downwind from here. Surprisingly, I've hunted here probably, 6 times, maybe more. Not this season, but in total, maybe 8 times. And I don't get picked up, hardly at all, down the hill. So the scent must be going over their heads. The day's kind of heavy, kind of gloomy. Feels good though. And this is a November rut feeling kind of a day. We got plenty of time left in the afternoon. No specific targets in mind. We're pretty open-minded. I think we'll be able to bring you some more action. Over here, Earl. That was the buck that we call Earl. I suppose I should have tried to shoot him, but I just don't want to fill my second tag yet. There's a lot of the rut left. And I'm really hoping that Jordan can get a chance to tag that buck. We're about probably almost a half a mile from where we were getting pictures of him on that food plot further up the ridge. So the whole... There's another buck right down here. Another buck.
Younger one.
Younger buck. How far?
100 yards.
Is he coming?
He's going left to right. There's two bucks. Earl's coming back, I think.
Earl's coming back. Uh-oh. I might have to make the decision again.
Definitely smells us.
Still looking.
All right, back to the update. Earl and this young buck, they may have heard that button buck when he ran. They might have thought there was some kind of a chase, who knows, but he came back, Earl did, but he only got within maybe 60. So we gotta go back to how this deer got his name. There were 3 does that were coming out into this plot that Jordan named Mary, Ann, and Wanda. And I don't know who the musician is, but they sang a song called Goodbye Earl. So Earl was the buck that was coming into that food plot occasionally. So Jordan came up with the idea that we had Mary Ann and Wanda, and we need to say goodbye to Earl. So that buck became known as Earl. I've got some really funny trail camera pictures of Earl. I've got a shot of him where he's got about 5 or 6 corn stalks in his rack, and he's just carrying them around. And I've got another picture of him probably 100 yards or more away, and he's still got a couple of them stuck in his antlers. So Earl's got a little bit of a personality to him, and hopefully Jordan's going to start hunting Saturday. Today's Thursday. So with some luck, Earl will make an appearance in front of that blind, and Jordan can get a shot at him. We're down to the last half an hour We probably have more than a half an hour of legal shooting time, but it's a really dark day, so we're gonna run out of camera light pretty early. Amos was kind of disappointed that I didn't shoot Earl. He really loves that deer, and he's a pretty cool buck. He's got some, like I said, he's got some personality to him. Maybe Jordan can get a chance at him. That's my hope. And we're going to be back out again tomorrow. And I think we're going to do an all-day sit up by the old unreliable food plot. Not on the plot, but back in the timber on that bedding point. I still have my heart set on that buck that I've been trying to get ever since the season started, and that's that buck with the forked brow tines. The deer's starting to get busted up just a little bit now because I got a picture of him a few days ago, and I think that maybe he broke off one of the forks. And I saw another buck that was potentially a deer that I would shoot that had broken a tine out also. At that stage of the rut when they're getting pretty beat up. It should keep getting better though. Tomorrow, when I get a break, I'm going to talk about how much longer the rutting activity is going to last. Like how far into the end of November is this going to last and what this is going to look like. And I was pretty excited about today's action. I mean, it's not every day you get to see Earl at 35 yards cruising through the timber.
And he made a very good scrape too. He's up on his hind legs.
Well, we're gonna call it a wrap. And of course, if we have something else come in, we're gonna show it to you on this video. But being as dark as it's getting, we're gonna close it up right here. Well, we appreciate you joining us. We'll see you right back here again tomorrow for the next episode of Hoyt's Bowhunting Whitetails. And remember to always dream big.